Hello and welcome to week 4 of prenatal yoga following loss. Today's theme is feeling empowered. But before we jump into the yoga, just a very gentle reminder that while yoga is generally considered safe for all trimesters, we are recommending that this class is for those 14 weeks and over. And of course, I'm not with you, I can't see you. So please move from a space that feels correct and right in your body. Any pain or discomfort, please either stop or modify the postures. And yeah, just listen to how you and baby are feeling. You may want to have a chair or sofa or birthing ball, something that you can kind of take a gentle forward fold onto handy. And you may also want to have either 2 yoga blocks or 2 tins of baked beans, just to kind of give us a bit more space in the body when we're in our lunge. But for now, back to the theme, empowerment. So as women, we are incredibly strong. We have this incredible resilience, this inner strength. And often in pregnancy, because there is so much going on, so much information, so many changes, it can be really easy to have moments of feeling disempowered. So today's class, we are looking at trying to cultivate that sense of empowerment, to reconnect this inner strength which we already hold. So there are going to be opportunities for us to move a little bit more intensely than we have perhaps in our previous classes. And as we move through these movements, we're going to use our breath to really hold us in the here and now and help us to work with those increasing sensations in our body and see us through the other side of the movement. And of course, if those movements feel too intense, there is so much strength in not doing something, in listening to your body. So like I said, please just move in a way that feels right for you and for your baby. Okay, so let's begin. So wanting to come and sit in a comfortable seated pose, so your hips are higher than your knees, perhaps you're on a cushion or a block. And let's bring our hands to baby. Perhaps it feels right to close down the eyes. And then as always, let's begin by taking 3 conscious breaths together. So let's inhale deeply through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh. Inhale. Open the mouth, sigh. One more inhale. And sigh. And so we're going to come straight into our extended exhale. So breathing in for a count of 3 or 4 through the nose. And then with lips gently parted, exhaling through the mouth for a count of 6 or 8. Perhaps noticing at first that the breath feels a little bit sticky in the body. Perhaps it's catching. Perhaps it's not flowing quite so easily, but as we stick with the practice and we begin to feel the body relax, the shoulders melt away from the ears and the jaw soften, perhaps we begin to notice the breath flows a little easier. And so we've touched on this breath before. This is the breath which we use as surges build in our body during labor. Or perhaps if we're having a C-section, perhaps this is the breath that we use to really bring about a sense of calm. It stimulates the central nervous system and brings on this sense of rest and digest. And this breath is also a really beautiful breath to use to break the fear, tension, pain cycle. So, this cycle where perhaps we are fearful, our body then tenses, and we then experience our surges more as pain rather than discomfort or as more intense. So, we can use this breath to break that cycle, to bring about softness in the body. And of course, surges are surges, but it can change our perception and how we feel them in the body. But for now, we use it to just bring us into the here and now and cultivate this sense of calm. Okay, when you're ready, let's gently release the hands and blink the eyes open. And we're going to come straight into it today. So come off your block or your cushion and let's come and find ourselves in all fours. We're coming through our cat and cow. Any wrist problems, you can come onto the fist. Shoulders are over wrists, hips are over knees. As we inhale, we press through the shins, have nice flat back, spine is nice and long. And then as we exhale, press hands into the earth, draw baby in and up. Gaze comes towards baby. So inhale, flat back. And exhale, we round. Really allow the head, the neck to soften here. Let's take one more together. Inhale. And exhale. And then there's the option here to stick with this movement, or perhaps you're going to just come and move intuitively. Perhaps stirring the hips back towards the heels in one direction. And then taking it in the other direction. Perhaps allowing the head and neck to hang and just kind of taking some wiggles. Just moving in a way that feels good in your body. Okay. We come back into stillness. Let's send that right leg back towards the back of the mat. Press into the hands. Exhale, draw baby in and up, and then we lift. Oh, I'm kicking the wall. We lift that back leg. Bend the knee, and we're going to come through some little bum kicks. So if this feels too intense, you can just do toe taps on the floor. That's absolutely fine. We're drawing baby in and up, pressing through the hands. And let's take 10 kicks of that right heel towards the ceiling. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really nice. Let's bring that right knee back down to the earth. Take a second of breath here. Let's inhale. Open that sigh. And then we step right foot to the outside edge of right hand. So this is where maybe if you have them, you come onto your blocks or maybe your baked bean tins. And just allow the hips to gently soften forward into this really lovely lunge position. So that right foot is towards the right edge of the mat. Hands are on the floor in front of you. And our gaze is softly at a point on the floor in front of us. Focus on trying to square off the hips. So that right hip is maybe pulling back ever so slightly. Left hip is pulling forward ever so slightly. So there's a little bit of kind of not tension, but activation through the hips here. We're not just dumping into our groin. And once we're comfortable here, perhaps as we exhale, we start to press into that right heel, straightening right leg, drawing bum ever so slightly back. So we inhale, we bend forward. We exhale, we come to straighten. Just being really careful if you're hypermobile, especially with all of the increased relaxing in pregnancy, that you're not over straightening that right leg. So if you know that you are hypermobile, perhaps leaving a tiny bend in that knee. Let's take one more movement here. Inhale, exhale, and then let's come back into a bent knee. If you're on your blocks, I would recommend coming off. We're going to take a gentle side plank. Now, if that doesn't feel right for you today, that is absolutely fine. You could maybe just stay here, bring that right knee back, and just take a few more cat and cows. If you're coming with me, then we're going to slide that right foot towards the back of the mat, ground the sole of the foot so that it is parallel with the short edge of the mat. And then you want to make sure that left knee is underneath your left hip. Draw baby in and up, press left shin into the earth, and then with care, we lift that right hand high to the sky. So really pressing into the outside edge of that right foot, creating stability, pressing into the left shin, drawing baby in and up, and maybe we reach that right arm over right ear. So as the intensity starts to build in our body, come back to that extended exhale. Breathing in for a count of 3 or 4 and out for a count of 5, 6 or 8. Let's take one more breath here together, squeezing through the glutes, pressing through that left hand, drawing baby in and up. And then as we exhale, we really slowly bring that right hand back to the earth. Come onto the tiptoes of that right foot and then bring right knee to meet left. And let's all sit our bum back on our heels. Hands come to baby. Just take a moment to check in with the body. A moment to check in with baby. Perhaps noticing there's a little bit more heat in the body. The heart is maybe beating a little faster. As we begin to harness this inner strength. Okay. Let's bring the hands back to the earth. And this time it's that left leg that we're taking towards the back of the mat. So let's send left toes towards the back of the mat. We're in our flat back position. Press the hands into the earth, draw baby in and up. Option to just stay and do toe taps here. That is more than enough. You don't want to be having any tension around baby or the core when we're doing these movements. But if you're coming with me, we're lifting that left knee, making sure to not turn the hip out, knee points down, and let's take 10 bum kicks. 10, 9, not arching the back, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that left knee back to meet right. Take a breath, let's inhale. Open the mouth sigh. And then let's step left foot to the outside edge of left hand. Again, grab those blocks. So as we inhale, we bend into that front knee. Find your positioning with your hips. So perhaps you feel that this left hip is creeping a little bit further forward. Draw it back in space and bring that right hip ever so slightly further forward. It's kind of micro movements just to square off the hips. And then as we exhale, perhaps we begin to press into that left foot and straighten through the left leg. For some of us, this might look like this. As long as you're feeling that stretch down the back of the hamstring, that's all that really matters. Remembering not to overstretch if we have hypermobility. Just moving with our breath. Enjoying this moment of fluid movement, which feels so good in a pregnant body. Okay, final time. Let's come and bend. We're going to come off our blocks, hands to the earth. Again, we're going to come into that supported side plank. Option to either stay here and just enjoy this stretch a little deeper, or perhaps you bring left knee back to meet right and take your cat and cow if you're not coming with us today. But if you are, press the hands into the earth, draw baby gently in and up, and then slide that left foot towards the back of the mat. Ground the whole of the sole of the foot on the earth, and then just maybe move that right shin so that right knee is underneath right hip. You want right hand underneath right shoulder. And then as you exhale, press through right shin, right hand, maybe lifting left hand up to the sky. Maybe even bringing left hand over left ear. So again, working with your body. Obviously, this is quite an intense pose. It requires us to draw baby in and up. We're activating through that bottom leg, the top leg, the arm. So if it starts to build the sensations in the body, then we can use that extended exhale. But there is always the opportunity to come out. Listening to your body, there's so much strength in listening to our body. Moving in a way that feels good for us and for baby. Okay, and then let's really gently bring that left hand back to the earth, left toes to the floor, and then we bring left knee back to meet right and all come to sit on our bums. Let's take a rotation of the wrists in one direction and then the other. Maybe let's shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, allow them to fall down the back. Let's take two more. Inhale. One more. Okay, and then we are going to make our way up to stand. So your way of standing is absolutely fine. You can kind of get up how feels comfortable. Or if you want to come with me, we bring the hands back down to the earth. We send that right foot to the back of the mat. As we exhale, we draw baby in and up and step right foot to the outside edge of right hand. Lift the back knee. Take a little rock and step left foot to the outside edge of left hand, coming through either a deep squat if you're less than 32 weeks pregnant, or a high squat if you are more, patting the hands high to the sky. Inhale, hands up. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, so this is where we maybe would like to have either our chair or sofa, or if you don't have them, you can just use the wall. I can show you how to use the wall. Put that onto our mat. Okay, so this is where there's going to be a little bit of intensity. So please work in a way that feels right for your body. So we're going to come and stand, feet underneath hips or maybe just a little wider. We want to focus on maybe, not obviously when we're pregnant, we are standing in kind of like a bum out position. It's just the way that we're kind of working with our weight, but maybe a gentle tuck underneath of the hips, of the pelvis. And then we're going to bend into that left knee and step the right foot ever so slightly back. Hands come onto the hips. And option one is that you are going to, as we move, as we take our step in, you're going to straighten that left knee. So bending and straightening. If you want a little bit more intense, you're going to keep that left knee bent. Okay, so I'll show you for a second. Step and back, step and back. Okay. So when we're ready, let's bend into that left knee and begin. So we step and back, 2 and back, 3 and back, 4 and back. We're going to 10. So really using that breath to keep our mind focused, to keep us present if the sensations in that left leg are building for you, like they are for me. We have 2 more. Really nice. Let's step the feet together, press the legs into stand, give them a little shake, and then come and allow the forearms to find the chair. Allow the head to hang. There is, of course, always the option, if you have it within your practice, to kind of come into your forward fold. It just depends on where you're at with your bump. The option of doing it against the wall would be to bring your forearms to the wall, step further away to allow the body to hang, but it's not quite as much of a forward fold. So just choosing whichever option feels good for you. Maybe just swaying the hips from side to side, releasing any tension that built there. Okay, then when we're ready, let's gently press into the hands, come up nice and safely, draw baby in and up. And we'll take the other side. So this time it's the right foot that is forward. We set that left foot back. Remember, always the option to kind of keep straightening that front leg as we go. So down and up. It will take a little bit of intensity out of it. Or if you're coming with me, we keep this front leg bent for the whole time. So let's go together. We step back and in. 3, 4. So finding a point on the floor to gaze at. Really focusing here on pressing through the whole of that front foot, but especially through the heel. We've got 2 more. And then let's set the feet together again. Shake the legs out and come back into a moment of forward fold. You can either be nice and still here and just really allow the tension out of the neck, or maybe you focus on moving through the legs, bringing a bit of fluidity into this movement. Okay, one final time, let's press all the way up. We have one final little moment of standing. We're coming into chair pose. So feet again are hip distance or a little bit wider. And we are going to very gently, in a way that feels comfortable, come and sit back as if we're sitting into a chair, making sure that we are not rocking too far back into our heels or too far forward into our toes. We want to still be able to see our toes. The weight is in our heels. And we're going to take 10 pulses coming through to a straight leg and then back down to the chair. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squeezing through the glutes, make it really, really active. 5, 6. Obviously, the deeper we go, the more challenging it will be. 8, 9, and 10. Really nice. Let's press up together. Shake those legs out. And then let's come into our forward fold. Four. And just allow the breath to really release hips, legs, maybe fluid movement. And then press up into stand. And let's just bring hands towards baby. Maybe close down the eyes and just notice how our body feels. Perhaps we can feel the endorphins from our exercise moving around our body. Perhaps we can feel our heartbeat, our baby's lullaby, beating a little faster. And as we stand here in this moment, knowing that we are cultivating this sense of inner strength, we are showing ourselves and our babies that we are strong, we can do it, and using our breath as our anchor point. Okay, let's bring the eyes open, release the hands, let's move those chairs out the way. And we're going to make our way down to the earth. So standing at the front of the mat, we inhale with the hands high to the sky. Exhale, come through your choice of squat. Hands find the thighs, pad them down to the earth. And then this time we set that left foot to the back of the mat and allow the knee to drop. Right knee to join. And then we're coming to bring the bum down to the earth and swinging the feet out in front of us. Let's bring those knees into a little hip dip, so allowing the knees to rock from side to side. And then let's straighten the legs out in front of us and just give them a little bit of a shake. Maybe give those thighs a little bit of a bash. We've definitely worked into the thighs and the glutes today. And then it is time for us to come into our final pose, our relaxation pose, Shavasana. So perhaps for some of us, that is lying down, maybe on our left side with a pillow under our head, maybe something in between our knees. For others, it might feel more comfortable to sit up with your back against a wall. Whatever feels right for you, we have really earned this rest. So come and make yourself really nice and comfortable. Once you've reached your place of rest, just let the breath go. Let the earth hold you. As mothers, we have this immense strength. As women, we have this immense resilience, but we also have this really beautiful softness. And it is in this softness that we come and take rest. Both you and your baby. So let's gently begin to bring our attention back to the breath. Perhaps we begin to breathe a little deeper down towards baby. Maybe breathing a bit of movement into the fingers and the toes. And maybe reaching out, stretching through the arms and the legs. Or making your way up into a comfortable seated pose. Eyes either closed or gaze down towards the earth. Let's bring hands to baby. Let's finish the way that we began by taking a conscious breath together. So inhale deeply through the nose, open the mouth, really sigh. Let's bring hands to prayer at heart center, bow your head to your hands. Take a moment to bask in this feeling of inner strength. Acknowledge your resilience, your strength. And then when you're ready, let's release the hands and gently blink the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you ever so much for practicing with me. And I look forward to seeing you next week.